This episode of the BJJ Campaign Podcast is brought to you by Speed Pro East Bay in Alameda, California, in the heart of the San Francisco Bay Area. They're the source for premium visual solutions to spruce up your interior space. From window decals and wall murals to conference room graphics and directional signage, create a work environment that is tailored to your brand. They'll not only print your custom graphics, but do installation as well. Visit eastbayspeedpro.com. That's EASTBAYSPEEDPRO.com. And mention the BJJ Campaign Podcast for 15% off your first order. Also, Eddie is a Jiu-Jitsu guy, so folks go out there and support him.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 57 of the BJJ Campaign Podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 3 stripes.
Phil Kors, A2, blue belt, 2 stripes.
Jeremiah Watson, A4, purple belt, no stripes.
And folks, we're going to touch on the promotions a little later in the podcast, but we first want to welcome our good friend and training partner, Jeremiah Watson. Thanks for coming. We just got done with some Sunday rolls, and we said, Jeremiah, why don't you come over to do a podcast? And he said, yeah, sure, why not? So thanks for coming on. So we're going to talk. Jeremiah, you were there yesterday, as well as me. We were at Phil's competition yesterday, Naga in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And so how did that go, Phil?
A lot better than the last one. I won 3 out of 4 matches. And I was able to do what I've been trying to do for the last year or so, which is be on top. That helped when people were pulling guard, but I was able to stay there, basically not get swept immediately to the bottom, which is what would have happened in the past, and felt a lot better than after the last competition where I was just in the close guard the whole time with no way of getting out.
Yeah, no, you did a lot better. And just for the folks listening at home, Phil had great matches. Won his division, which was over 30. He had 1 match in that one. Mm-hmm. And then won the other division, which was the adult 140 to 149, right? Blue belt division. And then was nice enough to take a match after that at a weight class up because someone didn't have a match, and got Ezekiel fairly quickly.
Yeah, it was fast. I was on the defensive the entire match, and that goes back to the cardio. I just replied to Russell this afternoon with the update of I still got tired. But man, the difference of being tired on top versus the bottom, it's way better on top, like even though I was never able to settle and I was like passing the whole time or trying to pass, I'd much rather that. And my grips were still shot too, which is interesting. Mm-hmm. And I'm just holding that, holding the collar to work the knee cut that I still need to work on. It's one of the big takeaways for me, but like my grips were still shot, which usually happens when I'm on the bottom. And then, trying to go for like a cross collar, but this was much preferred over that.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Commentary, you look great on the matches. I mean, I was there for all of them, and just the change of being on top and actively passing rather than what you'd done previously. Your game's improved a lot, and you can tell that you've taken those improvements from the previous competitions. And for the audience for this competition, we didn't talk about this last time. This competition, it was important for you, I think.
Yeah, it was a big deal. No, I trained, this is about as hard as I've ever trained. I did a lot of 2-a-day stuff between going in for extra rolling time to work on the stuff I want to work on, working with Nick on wrestling stuff, and just spending a lot more time making sure I was where I wanted to be before it. And again, like, even though I lost the last match, that goes back to, in my opinion, cardio.
Well, you had tired. A lot of tough matches there.
No, and I get that, and I just, I think the weight wasn't the issue. And he told me what he weighed in, like 151.
He didn't look like he didn't look.
It wasn't size,
that much bigger. No,
it wasn't the weight. It was me being exhausted, which comes back to like, I need a better game plan for when I'm really tired. I should have pulled guard in the last match. I would have had a better chance.
Use Tyson's game plan.
Tyson was correct. He had me laughing at that, though. I'm a savage for the first match.
That's funny. Jeremiah, your take homes. What did you think?
Well, honestly, that was the first Naga that I've watched in maybe 2.5 years. Because usually I work it.
Right.
So these last 2 years I've been working Naga. So I took off this time so that I could take pictures of the team as well as see everybody actually compete. And I was blown away, man. Phil specifically, and all the kids, everybody on the team, we all did so well. And to actually see how everyone was doing, working all that fundamental stuff that we talk about and we harp on at the academy, just seeing it done and actually working out there, it was amazing. Hands down.
Yeah,
it was awesome. It was awesome to watch.
I like watching the kids. It was a little tough yesterday. I wanted to get there early, and for whatever reason, like, my match was at 4:45.
It's crazy.
So I'm like, I don't want to get there at 9 a.m. And have to wait all that time. So I ended up not getting there till about noon.
Been a long day. I got there at 9.
Yeah. No, I know. And but the ones I was able to see, I mean, it's super impressive. It's really cool when you see the kid do it, and like the curriculum, a single leg right to the mount, to the take the back, to rear naked choke. I mean, it's in those things that you teach the kids, and when they just do it, it's really cool to see. I'm sure it's probably what John feels like when he sees, Joey do something good or something.
Had a really good success rate.
Yeah, no, it was awesome.
Everybody did so good, man.
And win or lose, either one, they all handled themselves so well, win or lose, and that's really the important thing, and that really comes from the top down, from John's example, and that's something that I want to get into as well. I want to talk more about that is competition etiquette, right? Because some people on here, maybe they're listening, they're like, I haven't competed before. What are you talking about, competition etiquette? So, Jeremiah, give me an example of competition etiquette that you would recommend for someone who's never competed before.
As a bystander, or
No, as either any being a bystander or competing themselves, doesn't matter.
We kind of touched base on this, not on podcast, just earlier talking about it. Basically, you have, I guess, your type A, type B personalities. You have the really humble person, and then you have the person that's kind of out there when they win. They express it the way they express it in a different way. Personally, and just from the teachings and the way I've learned is to be more humble, win or lose.
Sure.
No matter what, you don't have to get upset. There's people, they'll win. They're slapping it mad and they're rubbing it in your face. There's actually a good video that Marcelo made about that. The person, you don't have to rub it in their face. We get it. You got it. Congrats. Shake hands and go. Move on to the next one. But I think that just, it's from person to person. Personally, I would be that humble one. All right, I won. I got it. Cool. It worked that time. Shake the guy's hand. Take that win. Go to the next match and do that every single time.
Sure.
So.
And folks, I don't think there's anything wrong with, yes, good. It's an exciting moment. You can be excited, just know that there's someone on the other end of that excitement.
Yeah, exactly. It's just kind of like taking your opponent into consideration.
Yeah.
And some people, even people that lose, and you see it obviously more with the kids. but when they lose, they get really upset.
Yeah.
You know, they'll stomp off the mat or slap the mat and get really upset or crying, and it's just like it's okay. You know, you don't have to carry yourself that way. Sometimes it's necessary to lose to grow.
Yeah, for sure. And you know what? Those are teaching moments too for those kids whenever they come off the mat. You know, hey, it's all right.
The way
You
you
know,
handle yourself.
yeah, yeah. So they need to learn that as well.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Phil, do you have any?
I got distracted because I was thinking about that question I sent you the other day.
Etiquette for competition.
Yeah. I feel like everybody's so polite. We were just talking about it. I'm like Facebook friends with everyone I compete against now.
I know, right?
It's, I don't know. I think I've just been super lucky, and like I guess the people in this area are just super nice. But like after every competition, like I'm just friends with the person. And I've always said jiu-jitsu is like the way to make friends really fast because like you are already really close. But yeah, no, I mean, I guess that's tough. Like just trying. I think being respectful is the best thing you can do, giving your best effort. Not running off the mat. I mean, if you won, act like you've been there before. If you lost, it's not the end of the world. Act like.
Yeah, don't be an asshole.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much just the same rules as everything else. I don't know.
I've got one.
Go ahead.
So if you're not the person's coach, don't yell out anything other than words of encouragement.
Yeah.
Okay, I was thinking of as a competitor. Yeah, man. And it's interesting too because I get more stressed out watching my friends compete than when I'm competing,
Yeah.
So I'm never going to yell anything other than like I think like one of the kids stood up and I just looked at him and I like put up 3, like there's 3 seconds left. Like just
Yeah, no,
keep doing
it's
what you're
okay.
doing. It's like just hold it,
Well, I
you
think it's
won,
different
you know.
when you have, your coach telling you one thing, and then you got 3 or 4 of your family members trying to scream something else at you, and now you got all these different things.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously you should be listening to your coach, but it's just a distraction.
Yeah, and it's
You have all that being thrown at you.
So things that are okay to say off the mat if you're not the coach is 30 seconds left,
yeah.
is good job, is keep up the good work, and nothing else.
I don't say anything. Shocker. I feel like none of that is necessary to say. Like there's one person he should be listening to.
Yeah, for sure.
Like even if it was the most obvious thing in the world, I think there's a reason the person who's smarter than me isn't saying it. I'll let him continue not to say it because if I can see it, they can see it.
Yeah.
I don't
Right.
need to say it.
Oh, it's funny. Yesterday because Joey helps teach the kids and stuff, and I think John was behind Joey while he was coaching one, and they were saying the exact same thing, but John had said it over Joey, and Joey turns around, he's like, let's just switch spots. He's like, no, really, let's switch spots. He's like, no, I'm sorry, you got it.
That's
I was like,
hilarious.
He's like, no,
I
you
didn't
got
see
it.
that. That's
Yeah,
funny.
I was right there taking pictures, and it was kind of getting to that thing. But even then, they both know what they're talking about.
Yeah,
That's
of
different
course.
from the person who's never trained a day in their life and they only come to the classes
Yeah.
and watch, and they're giving you, probably bad ideas.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
They don't
Whenever
know,
you say
yeah.
Things
get
that you
up or
probably
Yeah.
get out of that, that's not really
A
helpful.
little
Right.
easier said than done. Get up. Do you see where I'm at?
And like my fear would be like say something, they do it and get submitted, and I'm like,
Well, I was listening to my coach. Oh, that wasn't my coach. Sorry, it was 10 people yelling at me.
Yeah, so if you have family members coming, then just tell them, hey, be excited, words of encouragement, but keep all the other stuff. Leave the coaching to the coach, right?
And I think we already do a good job with that, even in the academy. You have to sign, hey, don't yell onto the mats at your children.
Sure. Yeah.
That's not. Let us teach.
Yeah, there's a way to do that. You can train yourself and help coach the kids. We'll welcome that.
yeah, that like excitement stuff always comes back in my mind to like I never hear the instructor say, and this is where you squeeze really hard. Like those things are never it.
if you just squeeze harder, this will work.
Yeah.
Nope.
It's like, that's never.
I thought that at white belt. I still think that in certain positions. Oh, I got it. Nope, not there. All right.
I will say I had a really cool ref yesterday, and I really liked what he was doing. Just every so often, he would just make a comment along the lines of like 4 minutes left, like, all right, guys, just 4 minutes left. And just like that kind of brings it back, because you get so locked in the moment of like what you're trying to do. And that just like is like, oh yeah, hang on, whoa. And that was super helpful, especially in one of them for me.
We talked about like pacing.
Yeah.
It's really hard to, because you see it a lot, man. Every competition, every match, somebody, one of the two, looks up at the clock, like, how much time do we have? How much time do we have? I mean, I get it, I guess, but at the same time, it's kind of hard not to match the intensity of your opponent. But in that sense, I feel like you should just kind of, instead of worrying about how much time we have, like at the academy when we do 10-minute rounds, where sometimes John doesn't even tell us. He just says, pace yourself, because that's what you should do.
Yeah, he's not going to tell us how long the rounds are. It doesn't matter how long
you go, you need to pace yourself. So
that's a great lesson too. That really is. I was really interested. We had our kids coaches training last Friday, and Charlie said, watch the refs in some of the and their interactions with the kids. That kind of tells you how to help coach the kids, whenever they do. And I was watching them, and you know what? It was really cool, because you'd see the ref, if there was somebody, getting close to submission, they were within inches of that submission. They were right there with that kid. And I thought that was A, great advice for Charlie to tell us, and B, I just enjoyed watching them and actually watching them, how they handled the kids and everyone for that matter. They were really, really quality referees there. I have no idea what their training is, but they were really good in what they did.
Agreed.
Any other competition etiquette that you can think of? Just basic things. If and this maybe not etiquette, but just preparing for a competition. If you're going to a competition, take some snacks with you, take some water, because the food there, wherever you're going, is probably not going to be the stuff that you're eating if you're going up to a competition. It's all going to be fried and whatever, so make sure to take some food, take some water, your energy drink, whatever.
One of Terry's guys came back with Chick-fil-A, and I was like, wow.
Did you leave and go get that?
Yeah, the Chick-fil-A was right down the street.
Yeah, he went out and got Chick-fil-A, and I was like, super brave.
Right before your match.
That's hilarious. So very good. I want to come back to it, Phil. Why was this one? We talked about it a little bit, and I hope you don't mind talking about it. But why was this one why was this competition so important to you?
Yeah, I sucked last time, real bad. Like, I was thinking about it too, and we talked about it a little bit before. But like, so the first year, I spent a lot of time in the closed guard, and then I felt pretty good there. And then just, I don't know, I know Dan down in Charlotte said something to me, and I kind of brushed it off for a while, but it's always stuck out to me. Like I was like, yeah, but and I came up with all the excuses like I'll always do. And then, but it kind of stuck out. And
what did Dan say to you?
I need to be on top. He's like, you're too small. He's like, we need to be on top. We're this size. If we're underneath these people, it's all good when you're attacking. Yeah. But they pass and it sucks. So get on top. And, then I started noticing, even with like brand new people, like, I can choke them a couple times. And they figure out what I'm doing and I can't. And then I kind of get locked in and I couldn't sweep anybody. I think it comes back to the fact of like your first year of jiu-jitsu really is surviving. And that was just how I did it, would just be figure out how to get into the closed guard from anywhere. Like, oh no, I'm getting double legged. I'll just close the guard, like from anywhere. I just figure out a way to get there, lock onto the person, hold them down, wrap the lapel around the back for extra control, everything I could do, but I couldn't get out. And And then I said, for however many months, I want to figure out how to sweep people, and I wouldn't even try. And then once I started trying, you know, you go into competition and get the reality check, and it was embarrassing. Like, it hurts to watch that video. I'm like looking at it. I'm like, come on, man, do something. And I'm the guy in the video. Like, you see the meme where it's like poking. It's like, come on, do something. Like, that's me in the closed guard. And that, I mean, that's what, like, that's, I guess, what it takes. Like, I have to fail miserably in order to get motivated enough to really want to bust my ass to figure it out. And that's what I did. And like, luckily I have super awesome teammates who are always willing to help. I mean, you help with everything I want to work on. Jeremiah's always there to help. Joey constantly works guard passing stuff with me.
Yeah.
Like, and whatever else I want to drill. But yeah, no, I mean, even if I had lost, like, if I lose attempting to do the things I'm saying I'm going to do, fine. Like, the guy's better. That's going to happen.
Sure.
But it was so frustrating to say I'm going to do this and then not even try. But, you know, and that's why I think the videoing is super important. Because I went back, I asked Molly to do it recently. And I said, hey, can you just video a couple rounds tonight? I just want to go back, watch, see what I'm doing, you know? And I don't hate what I see.
Sure.
It's not great, you know?
Yeah.
There's clips that are 30 seconds long. All right, let's start swept.
Yeah.
Let's start passed. But, you know, it's like, you know, that's where I'm at. But there's other ones where I'm doing things that I should be doing when I should be doing them. And it's, you know, it's that progress is there.
Yeah, no, agreed. It was a great competition, and shout out to Nick Spirito for winning his first black belt match.
Yeah, I watched that. That
Awesome.
was a nice match.
Yeah,
I watched that one.
yeah. So congrats on that.
That was really good.
So getting back, Jeremiah, why did you start jiu-jitsu?
For me personally, it was kind of something. Well, not jiu-jitsu specifically. Before I even knew what jiu-jitsu was, I was all into the Jackie Chan and the Bruce Lee and all that type of stuff.
Sure.
You know? So it was something that I've always wanted to do as a kid, coming up, watching that type of stuff. And so, you know, I kind of just started doing some research. I was like, oh, well, I want to do karate or taekwondo. That was the very first thing on my, you know, coming up. That's what I was thinking about.
Sure.
Taekwondo and karate.
Sure.
Didn't even know what jiu-jitsu was.
Yeah.
I've always been really big into the UFC.
Sure.
So I was always watching UFC. I was doing it. I was that, you know, I was always into it, but never could train because my mom, single mom, raising 3 boys by herself, you know, just didn't have the money to do that type of stuff.
Sure.
So when I finally got my own job, I was able to pay for it myself. I went searching for schools.
Uh-huh.
And I typed in martial arts schools. So I didn't type in taekwondo or anything specific. Just typed in local martial arts. And jiu-jitsu was coming up. So clicked on the school. I think the very first school I attempted was actually with Lucas Lepre at his school. And then there was a Saga Combat, I believe, like right above where I was living there. And then I found John. But tried it out. And I came here, and it just stuck with me. You know, I walked in John's school. Everybody was very welcoming. John, you know, walked up right to me. He already knew my name. You know,
Sure.
Coming from the first thing you do online, you know, he calls you by your name. He's just, everything is really welcoming.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
So I start training, and I'll never forget the very first time, because like this is obviously, you know, I did the trial classes or whatever.
Sure.
And then the very first person he paired me up with was Nick DiMaggio.
Uh-huh.
You guys remember him?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, small Nick. So I walk in, and I was probably 19, 20 years old. So I'm still I'm still young, but
And
younger
Nick, was
than-
Nick a blue belt, or was he a
he
what?
was a blue belt then.
He was a blue
I
belt
think he
then?
was like a brand new blue belt.
Okay.
Um,
Okay.
But I walk in with him, and John's like, and this is before we had like that curriculum, you know.
Sure.
I came in and so I get out there, and he's like, yeah, I want you to work with Nick. And first time I met Nick, and I'm thinking, okay, can't be too hard. He's a small dude. I'm bigger than him.
Yeah.
I'll probably, you know, muscle the guy. That's
Yeah.
what everybody thinks when
Sure.
you first start, you know.
Sure.
I got in there, man. Nick mopped me with the mats.
Yeah.
It was the most amazing thing.
Yeah.
And from that point on, I was like, I want to learn that. I want to learn that. I got to learn that. But not only that, man, jiu-jitsu as a whole has helped me become a better person, develop me into a better person with everything, with their teaching, you know, interacting with all the upper belts, just the way we are a family.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it brought me from where I was, which I wasn't going very far where I was, to where I am now.
Mm-hmm.
So just all that, all in all, that's the reason I'm here, and that's the reason I'll never leave.
And too, goals kind of change as you get into jiu-jitsu, and it's super important for you being a law enforcement officer to have that ability to control a resisting opponent.
And even more now.
Yeah.
I mean, before I was just doing it for myself.
Yeah.
But and you talk about it all the time, man. There's a lot of people. I try to get all of my friends to come in, like try something. And it doesn't have to be jiu-jitsu, wrestling. Do something.
Yeah.
To where you can defend yourself enough to the point where you can survive until backup's there.
Yeah. For sure.
You got to do something.
Yeah.
That's just my mentality. But like I said, I started well before I was even in law enforcement in the first place.
Sure.
So I kind of, I already had that mentality that I want to be able to hold my own and be okay.
Yeah.
So.
No, we've got a lot of law enforcement in our academy. That's awesome.
That's kind of how I got here.
Yeah. No, it's awesome.
Started talking to those guys. I think Ryan Legs, he was telling me all his cool stories. Shout out to Leggett.
No
He's
doubt.
telling me his cool stories, and I was like, that sounds interesting. Yeah, I think I'd like to do that. And here I am.
That's awesome. So we had on the list, and this is something I want to talk about. We obviously our intros changed a little bit, right, Phil? Is that we had our promotions and our spring seminar with Steve Hall. Unbelievable seminar.
Yeah, I liked it a lot.
Armbar details. I did one today. Barry, I was like, he did the defense and pushed his my leg over his head whenever I tried to get the armbar, and I just switched my hips, and I was like, that is amazing. It's still good. It's like,
it's funny that there's so many positions that you can get it. And the biggest thing I take from what they teach us is why they harp so much on the fundamentals.
Yeah.
They will show you the fundamental way to do it, but the arm bar is never going to change. The arm bar is always going to be the arm bar.
Yeah.
And you can get it from a lot of different places. That I learned on Saturday,
That was
I
amazing.
didn't even know you could pull an arm bar from side control.
It was crazy,
That was
right?
the
Whenever
craziest
you're
one
on
the whole
bottom side control, folks, it was mind blowing. So if you ever get a chance to go to the Steve Hall seminar, go. But we had our promotions, and it's funny. We were talking to Christina, and she said Christina's a new white belt. It's my nephew and his girlfriend. They just recently started jiu-jitsu, and she said, you guys didn't seem too excited about your stripe. And for me, honestly, it was more exciting and more heartwarming for me to see one of the elderly guys who's just recently started jiu-jitsu get his stripe. That was more heartwarming for me than me getting mine, because I know that I'm just going to keep showing up and training, and the stripes are going to come, the belts are going to come. I'm not concerned with those, and actually probably would like to delay them, to be better, because who wants to be, ultimately the decision's not ours to make, right? I mean, that's what our professor, that's what he does. So you have to have confidence in the promotions that you're given, because he's giving them, and he knows what your progression is. He knows how you've been paying attention in class, and he knows that. And so for me, it's just, I'm not at all concerned about it. If you are concerned about your stripe or your belt, I know that obviously whenever you're starting out, as a white belt, you want that first stripe, right? That was, I always say that was the most meaningful one.
Yeah,
for me.
I think for you is the first stripe. For me was the blue belt.
Yeah.
Like I didn't know what stripes were.
Yeah.
Before I got it.
The blue belt.
Yeah.
Everybody, like, that's that first step.
Yeah.
To advancing level, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like, holy crap, I made it. I remember when I was a white belt, I was like, man, I want to be there.
I remember when you got your blue belt. I remember you were four stripe, because you were a four stripe. You were a 4-stripe white belt whenever I started. I think 3 or 4. I think 4.
Probably 3. I don't know.
Is it 3? Maybe it's 3 or 4.
I think you were a blue
Somewhere
belt
there.
when I met you.
Yeah. But I mean, it just goes to, I think if you're in it for the belt, you're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yeah.
there's a lot of people. I mean, there's gonna be people who chase the belt. I mean, cool, more power to you. Personally, I don't want to say I don't care. Like, I care that I'm glad
that
they
you're
gave
getting
me
better.
The belt.
Sure,
Yeah.
that's what
they
it
gave me
means.
the belt and they seen something in me that I didn't see in myself. Because I
Sure.
remember testing. I tested twice.
Sure.
And the second time I was like, nah, man, I don't deserve it. I remember telling you specifically that.
Yeah.
I was like, man, no, there's no way I'm getting it. I don't deserve it. I don't see it. And
Mm-hmm.
you get it. And you said that same thing. Well, too bad it's not up to you.
Yeah,
It's up to your
that's right.
instructor. But what I like about the Fight to Win team is that they hold that standard. Nothing that I know for sure, nothing was given.
Sure.
Nothing's given. You earned every bit and every stripe or anything. You earned it all.
Yeah.
And like he says at every, seminar or team promotions we have, man, if you're not getting promoted, just keep showing up. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's okay. Like,
Yeah.
as long as you keep showing up, as long as you keep progressing, as long as you keep getting better and learning, everything's going to come. It's
Mm-hmm.
going to come. It's going to stop coming the day that you stop coming to class.
Yeah.
Well, he always says to the kids, he gives them a stripe or whatever, and he's like, this just means more responsibility.
Yeah.
It's
Oh,
like,
yeah,
it's
totally.
like now I'm like, you get another stripe, and I'm like, stop it. It's like I'm getting.
I got here and it's like they expect you to know this stuff.
Yeah.
You should now be able to, at least
Yeah.
the basics. You should know this stuff. And I'm still like, I don't know. Let's ask about that.
Every time, dude.
So I
and-
don't,
yeah.
that's why I felt like I was like, man, I'm not ready. But that also it pushes you because you should know where you stand. And just because okay, cool. They gave me my purple belt. That doesn't mean I stopped learning what I was learning at blue belt.
Right.
I keep
Sure.
reiterating what I'm doing. I don't just stop because I made it there. And I feel like that could be a common misconception for most people. They get to a certain spot and they're like, oh, I know it. Don't need to look at it. Let's go to the next thing, I'll always continue to go over that blue belt list.
Yeah.
Anybody who's asking whether I'm pulling from it or whether they're pulling from it,
For sure.
I'll keep looking at it, keep sharpening myself to get to that next level.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Focusing on his fundamentals. I mean, that's the thing. So it's a time for reflection. Whenever you get a promotion, it's a time for reflection. It's maybe a time to look at your game plan, look at what you're doing to get better each and every time.
Did you reflect?
Yeah, I did.
What'd you come up with?
I came up with I'm getting better at a lot of defenses and from the back and a lot of attacks from the back. And now what my new focus is, which is what I was doing all day today, is I'm focused less now whenever I'm in a top dominant position on submissions, and I'm focused wholeheartedly on transitions. In other words, I'm trying to see that and every transition has to lead me to the back of my opponent. That's what I'm working on now, and developing those pathways of getting to the back every single time whenever you're in a dominant position.
Yeah.
So that's where kind of like where I've changed up my training a little bit now to where, because before I was working very little top. And I still will start bottom. That's not going to change, but I'm now focusing in a little different area, getting those transitions, doing the knee on belly, going around, going to the back, transitioning, swinging around, and trying to get smoother, because I notice that the difference, there's a lot of difference in when somebody's really good at jiu-jitsu, right? But one of the things that sticks out to me in the differences is their transitions and always getting to a better position,
We touched on that today. During the rolls. You were rolling with Delvin. And I was the same way at one point. We focused on trying to hold one position. Even if you're escaping, I'm trying to hold that one position when I should be working the transition.
Yeah.
And you'll notice, I would think you said, the guys that have been training longer, the guys that, the black belts, any upper belt really, who's been doing it a while, if I'm moving, they're moving.
Absolutely.
I'm not just going to stay in one spot and let you put me back in a guard or, and if you did get there, you worked for it. You moved before I did. You did the right thing.
Yeah.
So, that's what we harped on today with him, is just, hey, I see you're trying to keep that grapevine. See, you're trying to keep the mount, and that's all you're focused on. Is
Sure.
Which there's nothing wrong with that. And there's good, there's a time and a place to maintain position.
Sure.
But at the same token, if the guy's, you're in the mount, he's turning to a side and he's escaping. Why are you still trying to hold mount? You no longer have it, man. You got to move before he escapes.
Preemptively move. Yeah. You're absolutely correct. And I'll add to that, it is if you're just trying to hold a position and not attacking, they're going to find a way out of that position.
Yeah, eventually.
Eventually you're going to find a way out of that position. So those transitions then even become more important.
And that's also with Phil. We had another side conversation where I was like, man, I love watching the upper belts move.
Oh yeah.
When we do pass sweeper submit drills, man, I go out and I'm watching John. I'm watching, what is he doing? He does it every time. Whatever he's doing, and then I'll go and try to replicate it. Does it work? Not much, but I'm watching
because we're a lot worse at it than he is.
I'm watching what he's doing.
Yeah, sure.
And then I'll ask him about it after class or something. I'll be like, hey, so I saw you doing this thing, or if I'm rolling with him myself, obviously you see a whole lot of stuff. That right there.
Yeah.
You guys can't see him. He does this like holding his forehead thing. I don't know. It's a good defense. Like, I can't do anything.
It stops it.
He gets under me. He gets, it stops the crossface. Yeah. It's just it's such a good defense. And it's a little thing I did today, rolling with Phil. And he was like, oh, yeah, that was really good. I was like, yeah, I got it from John. Watched him do it so much. And he's done it to me so much. So. Yeah,
no, that is a good one. How about you, Phil? What next?
For me?
Yeah.
Same thing. Same thing. It's just I would say just keep working on that takedown idea, and just I felt a lot better standing.
You trained wrestling with Nick.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't take anybody down, but like I wasn't fight or flight panic mode standing either. Like I was. You
were going to try that.
I was going to try it. Yeah.
Yeah. The what's it called? The
Landon called it, I think he said Sumigaeshi.
I don't know. Old Sumigaeshi.
Yeah. That might be ham sandwich.
Shami salami?
Yeah.
Ashi salami. Yeah.
Ashi garami would work.
Yeah. That's what I thought you were going to say when you said you were working on what you want to focus on next. I thought you were just going to say leg locks again, but
no, that's what I'm definitely going. I mean, I'm definitely.
Well, that's what the small guys do.
Yeah. I am quick, nimble, and small. You're right. So.
But no, it's that same like. Again, like I didn't succeed in everything I've been trying to do. Like I didn't pass those people's guards easily. I would have loved to do that. I don't really ever expect to do that because the whole point of competition is like these people are about as good as you are, you know? So It's never going to be easy, but I'm going to try to make it easy. So I want to get good at those things. And the takedowns, like everywhere that I think is the weakest part is just kind of keep focusing on those until they.
And those weaknesses are going to change, right? As you build them into strengths.
Yeah. Like, and I thought it was interesting too. I don't think I've triangled somebody in class maybe I've done one or two in months.
Yeah.
Finished one this weekend.
Yeah. And I think because we're doing those warm up drills and kind of shout back to the earlier podcast, shout back a word.
I think I just
made that up.
We're going to start that up.
We were warming up before, which I do believe helped me a lot.
Yeah.
Going into it.
So just for the folks at home, whenever Phil was warming up for his match, I was helping him warm up for his match, and he was just doing the move your hips back and forth on the arm bar type thing.
Yeah, and then I randomly just started throwing your hand in and shooting triangles.
Yeah,
I've never done that as like a drill with somebody before. But then caught one yesterday, like in a scramble.
Tight too, boy.
Tried it with Jeremiah today, and he was like, I'm just going to pass your leg over. But, it worked yesterday. That's why he's better than me. But no, I think warming up helped a lot. And then catching that triangle in a scramble, it's cool to have those attacks from the guard, but like it's not something I want to rely on. So I'm trying to get comfortable with the takedown and get comfortable playing on top. I feel a whole lot better, but then there's still like the back transition is there, and I hit that in training almost every time. I missed it with him again today, but you know, I wouldn't have got it anyway. But you know, it was there and I didn't go for it, or I didn't see it in the competition until John said it. I saw it was too late. So it's like I need that to be like that triangle where I can just see it, you know. And those are the things I want to really, really focus on. Shout out Ryan Hall's back take. It's actually the same one we learned in class. That still cracked me up. Did I tell you about that?
No.
Ryan Hall's back take. You know that back transition from side control where they shrimp in, you kind of bring your arm over and like swing around.
Yeah.
Like I asked Joey to help me with that one a couple weeks ago because we learned it in class, and I was like, let me do it again. Joey comes in like 3 days later, and he's doing that transition, and he calls his dad over and goes, "So I'm trying to do Ryan Hall's back take," and John's like, "Yeah." Ryan Hall's back take. I'm like, oh, dude,
Really? He's
so,
like, really?
Oh, it's his.
like,
It's his back take.
I didn't, but see, like, and he doesn't do it often, but Joey did it pretty bad the first time. So I didn't really realize what he was doing. The second time he did it, as he was calling his dad over, I was like, oh my God, this is what he's calling him over for. And I just started laughing. So I'm already laughing as he's explaining it to John. I'm like, oh man, that was so funny.
That is hilarious.
But that back take, and I don't really get that one, but it's got to be effective. Like there's got to be a reason like they're showing it. And I still don't like see it yet, but that's another one that I want to keep drilling. Cause like when I do it, I look,
Yeah.
it's bad.
Yeah.
But you know, figure it out.
Sure.
But I want all those, the same thing, the back, every way I can find to the back, to kind of keep doing that
Every
and look
path
for that
to the
stuff.
back. Yep. I think it's important. Jeremiah?
I don't really. Well, my focus is just getting better, and that's what I was gonna say. After that, I think anybody's focus, no matter what your belt is, no matter what rank, or stripe, whatever, just focus on being a better you, better than you were yesterday. You know, don't be afraid to ask questions. And I'm guilty of it myself. This happens all the time. How many times we go to class and at the end of class, John's like, "Any questions?" Everybody's just looking at each other like, "No, nope." No one really wants to ask questions, and he has to like pry it out of us.
Yeah, I know.
He has to. Okay, so we all got the positions 100%.
Landon,
black belts.
Landon will always ask questions, so you can always leave it to Landon. He'll always ask.
But I know like we have questions because we'll be trying to hash something out during rolls amongst each other when we should be asking him.
Sure.
You know, hey, we you know got in this position and we weren't 100% sure on it. Can you show us? Or you know, even in a competition, he'll talk to you afterwards. Hey, this is what happened. And like I was watching, it was Landon watching his stuff, and I was like, I'm gonna ask a question.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm just a bystander, but still, I see stuff. I want to know, hey, if I was ever there, how would I get out of that?
Sure.
So I asked John, you know, can you explain that position to me? And
Yeah.
how he should have escaped or how he would have escaped and vice versa, whatever.
Sure.
So my focus personally is getting better. Like I said, I show up. The stripes will come.
Yep.
I'm in there as much as I can be with my schedule.
Sure.
Back and forth. But I always try to make it at least 2 to 3 times a week.
Yep. You always do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I'm going to. I make it a priority to at least once a week.
It's a good lesson for everyone, right?
I'm always in there because I'm eager.
You got the weird schedule now.
Get better within myself because I know, like I said, and I joke with Joey about it. Well, Joey jokes with me, shall I say, about it all the time. He was like, "You're the purple belt. You're like, come on, dude. You've been training for like 12 years and you're only 12. So you've been training as long as you've been alive, dude." But you know, just the misconception I feel a lot of people get is that you can't, 1, be tapped by a lower belt, or 2, be taught by a lower belt.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's stupid.
Yep.
And you shouldn't have that mindset because you will not have room for real and true growth. There's stuff that I learn from you all the time. There's stuff I learned from Phil. I ask Joey questions even when he was in the kid ranks because I know he's been doing it. He knows, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
I can learn from everybody. It doesn't matter what belt level or where you are or how long you know. There's something you did that I wasn't aware of that I can learn from. So
yeah, no, that's a good mindset to keep and have. And I wanted to bring up one other thing because for quite honestly, I don't like to drill. And so I've now got ammunition of not ever having to drill again, Phil. And that is, Hodger Gracie said, the single best thing to improve your jiu-jitsu is positional sparring.
I was just gonna ask a totally unrelated question of something I've been thinking about recently. Do you ever count your reps during class?
Yeah.
Do you? I've never done it. I want to start doing it.
I personally don't pay attention. We just go back and forth.
Yeah, no, I never do. And then I noticed John said a while back to me that he's like, I'd rather adults did 5 or 6 at a time. Steve said during the seminar, he's like, don't do it 3 times wrong. Do it 1 time right and be like, all right, cool, moving on. You know, he's like, once you do it right, do it 3 or 4 times right and cement that in. And, you know, you usually do that 2 and 2, right? You usually do 2 and 2, you know?
You do too.
And I've just never counted reps. And I was thinking about it, like in the terms of like kids class stuff where I'm like maybe if they were to count their reps, it would help, you know, and maybe make them want to do more. And then I was like, I've never done that. Why would I tell anybody else to do it?
Well, I
want to start doing that.
I don't count after 10. If I get 10 in, that's good. I'm going to keep going. But I want to at least get 10 reps in.
Okay.
Of every
so
technique.
I need to do 11.
Well, I'm going to do 11 if I get to 10.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
I'm
So
going to do 12. I heard you.
Not how it works.
Yeah. No, I've never done it. I it's like, I'm going to have to, it's going to be a thing I'm going to have to work on because I'm not going to remember to do it. I'm going to get distracted. I'm going to be asking and answering questions with people and talking. But
Well, what I like about that, you know, just obviously in the learning anyway, is as we're doing it, we run into something we didn't see while we was teaching it. And then that question comes up. And that's how you figure out the position a little bit better and a little bit more. And I was, like you said, man, you're going to go through your career and you're going to see one position that you think you know, but there's going to be a detail that you didn't catch last time. Like I just remember going to, I forget what seminar. It was a seminar that we went to, Steve Hall, I think, and he said something. And I was like, how did I miss that?
right?
It's like
It's
right
always
there.
something.
Yeah, like how did I not get that before? And that little detail makes the position that much better every single time.
The worst part is whenever you get that and then you forget it and then they say it again and you're like, oh man, I forgot it again.
yeah.
What the hell?
90%
It's going to happen,
everything
folks. It's going to happen.
Yeah, that one's frustrating.
Jeremiah, tell folks how they can see you, reach you, or if they want to do jiu-jitsu with you, what to do.
Well, obviously, I train jiu-jitsu with these guys, so if you want to see me, you can come see them.
Yep.
And you will see me because you've seen them. I got Facebook, Instagram, man. It's under J Watt. I don't know why I changed my full name. I feel like people look for me.
J Watt.
Yeah. So it's just Jay and then my last name, the first 3 letters.
Very
I
good.
feel like people are looking for me.
Yeah, of course.
No, I'm going incognito, dude. But yeah, you can look for me, follow me, or come see Phil and him.
Yes.
And
Yes. And Philly, tell the folks how to support us. And by the way, I want to say to the listeners, we appreciate you. Shout out, we just got over 10,000 downloads. That's a pretty monumental thing. And the podcast is growing, and we really appreciate the people who are listening out there. So
It's shout back.
shout back. Sorry,
Yeah.
shout back.
Yeah, it's shout back.
Shout back to all the listeners. We're bringing it. The shout back.
Yeah, yeah. Well, the Rash Guards are out, and I would say that's our best product yet.
It's the best.
They-
Those Rash Guards
they
are
look really
so freaking nice.
Yeah,
Thank you, James Klingerman.
I'm super impressed with how those came out. They look really good.
The
Yeah.
first one I saw was on Roland.
Mm-hmm.
They look really good.
Yeah.
They're really awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely get one if you haven't yet. Get them while they're in stock.
That's right. Get them while they're in stock. We have plenty of larges, folks.
Yeah. BJJCampaignPodcast.com for the Rash Guards t-shirts, patches.
And those are all short sleeve, right? The Rash Guards?
Yeah.
Yep.
I prefer long sleeve, but
I prefer short sleeve, so we got short sleeve.
true. That's how it happened.
Someone needs to start ordering.
Let me know if you want a hoodie, because a lot of people are asking. We might have to get hoodies.
Dude, those hoodies are so nice.
They're really
and soft.
comfortable, and they look
Boomer
really good.
hooked us up with those from Toro BJJ.
Yeah, if you want a hoodie, let me know. I should probably tell you how much they cost, but I couldn't. So let me know if you'd pay an undisclosed amount of money for a hoodie. And
It's going to be, it's probably going to be $45 around that area. That's probably because,
it seems right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like hoodie prices.
yeah.
If you're willing to pay way more, just send me a private message. YouTube.com/BJJ Campaign Podcast. Facebook.com, join the group. BJJ Campaign Podcast on Facebook. And like some of the competition matches are up. And if you have your own that you want to post, also if you have critiques for me that I could have done better in my matches, let me know.
Yeah, definitely. And do post your matches in that BJJ Campaign Facebook group. That would be a great place. It's not just for memes, folks.
Yeah.
I mean, we love the memes. Don't get me wrong.
I think competition helps so much. I mean, again, for me, I got better at jiu-jitsu. I asked you that, like, I think it's a ridiculous question, obviously. Like, would you rather lose every match and learn a lot or win them all and stay exactly the same? Because why would you change if you're winning? You know, you're going to keep doing the same thing. It's obviously a flawed question.
Everywhere.
Huh?
I answered your question.
I didn't hear it.
I said there's room for growth everywhere.
Yeah. Again, it's a weird question, right? But like I had think
of something. It was on the fly.
I thought of it as I was just driving.
I of course answered I want to win every match and not learn anything, right?
You said lose every time.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because you're a liar.
Yeah.
And but yeah, you know, it's like unfortunately you need both. But anyway, so I think competition is super important. So if you compete and you want to share your matches, do it. I like watching them.
Yeah, absolutely. Me too. And folks, if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Me, Phil, Jeremiah, we all choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too. This episode of the BJJ Campaign Podcast is brought to you by Speed Pro East Bay in Alameda, California, in the heart of the San Francisco Bay Area. They're the source for premium visual solutions to spruce up your interior space. From window decals and wall murals to conference room graphics and directional signage, create a work environment that is tailored to your brand. They'll not only print your custom graphics, but do installation as well. Visit eastbayspeedpro.com. That's EastbaySpeedpro.com. And mention the BJJ Campaign Podcast for 15% off your first order. Also, Eddie is a jiu-jitsu guy, so folks go out there and support him.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.